Chapter 6: Metals and Non-Metals. In day-to-day life, many elements are commonly found such as iron, aluminum, zinc, lead, chlorine, carbon, sulfur, etc. and their compounds. The elements have been classified in two classes, namely metals and non-metals. In this theme, students will learn the classification of elements as metals and non-metals on the basis of their properties. Learning outcomes. After studying this chapter, students will be able to identify the names of reactants and products of different chemical reactions, differentiate between metals and non-metals on the basis of their physical properties such as luster, conduction of electricity and heat, malleability, ductility, sonority, melting point, boiling point, density, strength. Describe common uses of some of the metals and non-metals. Describe the cause of corrosion of iron and other metals. List different ways of preventing corrosion of metallic articles used in daily life. List some properties and uses of metalloids. Important terms and their definitions. Malleability, the property of metals to be beaten into thin sheets, example aluminum sheets. Luster, the property to reflect light and hence appear shining, example steel plate shines when exposed to sunlight. Ductility, the property by which metals can be drawn into wires, example copper cables. Hardness, the property by which metals can result cutting, scratching or grinding. Sonority, the property of metals to emit a deep resonant sound when struck. Example, sound is produced when a steel bowl is struck with a spoon. Tensile strength, the property by which metals can resist the pulling action. It also depicts the strength of a metal. Electrical conductivity, the quantity of electricity transmitted by a unit area in a unit time under a unit potential difference. Galvanization, the process of applying a layer of zinc over iron surface is called galvanization. Introduction. Metals and several chemicals have become an integral part of our life. Today, if we look around, we will observe that all materials existing today are linked directly or indirectly with metals. These have given safety and comfort to human life. Less reactive metals like copper, silver, gold and mercury were found first. Metals and non-metals. Metals. Metals are elements characterized by high electrical and thermal conductivities as well as malleability, ductility and high reflectivity of light. Almost 3/4 of all chemical elements are metals. The most abundant metals in the Earth's crust are aluminum, iron, calcium, sodium, potassium and magnesium. Metals are widely used in our daily life. The cooking utensils, cars, scooters, buses, trains, ships and aeroplanes are all made of metals or their alloys. Unending metals like gold, silver and platinum, called coinage metals, are used in making coins and jewelries. Metals such as titanium, chromium, manganese, zirconium, etc. are classified as strategic metals because these metals are essential for a country's economy and defense. These metals and their alloys are used in jet engines, atomic energy installations and space science programs. Non-metals. A chemical element which mostly lacks the characteristic properties of a metal is called a non-metal. Out of the 118 known elements, only 22 are non-metals. Some common non-metals are carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, sulfur, chlorine, bromine, iodine, etc. Like metals, non-metals are also very important in our life. Almost all living organisms are composed almost entirely of non-metal atoms such as carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. These elements are building blocks of all living organisms. Oxygen is important for the survival of living organisms. It is the most abundant non-metal in the Earth's crust. Carbon dioxide that provides life to plants, the air we breathe, the water we use and the plastics we employ in different forms are examples of compounds of non-metals. A non-metal is an element which can form negative ions by the gain of electrons. At room temperature, non-metals are either solids or gases except bromine Br, which is liquid. Occurrence of metals. Metals occur either in the free state or in the combined state. This is because different metals possess different chemical reactivities. Free or native state. The metals at the bottom of the activity series are least reactive, therefore, they occur in the native or free state, for example, gold and platinum. Combined state. The metals at the top of the activity series are reactive and occur in combined state. The metals in the middle of the activity series Al, Zn, Fe, Pb, etc. are found in the Earth's crust mainly as oxides, sulfides or carbonates. Examples of metals occurring in the form of their compounds are listed below with their minerals: metal oxides, bauxite Al2O3 2H2O, cuprite CuO, hematite Fe2O3, zincite, metal ZnO. Metal oxides: calamite ZnCO3, marble CaCO3, magnesite MgCO3, siderite FeCO3. Metal sulfides: galena PbS, iron pyrites FeS2, zinc blende ZnS, cinnabar HgS. Metal halides: cryolite Na3AlF6, fluorspar CaF2, horn silver AgCl, rock salt NaCl. Metal sulfate: gypsum CaSO4, 2H2O, Epsom salt MgSO4, 7H2. Extraction of metals. The process of obtaining a metal from its ore is called the extraction of metal. The extraction of metals from the ores and then refining them is known as metallurgy. The extraction of metals from the ores involves the following processes: concentration of the ore, conversion of concentrated ore into metal oxide, extraction of the metal by reduction of metal oxide, refining of impure metals, concentration or dressing of the ore. The process of removal of impurities present in an ore is called concentration or dressing of the ore. This can be done by the following methods: electromagnetic separation. This method is used to separate magnetic particles from non-magnetic particles. The powdered ore is dropped on a conveyor belt which moves over two rollers. One of them is magnetic and the other is non-magnetic. When the magnetic particles come over the roller, they are attracted to the magnetic roller and fall apart from the non-magnetic particles. Hydraulic washing or lavigation. This method is also called gravity separation process or lavigation. The method is based on the difference in densities of ore particles. In this process, powdered ore is washed against a stream of running water. When the lighter gangue particles are washed away and the heavier ore particles are left behind. The process is employed for the oxide ores of heavy metals such as iron and tin and native ores of silver, gold and platinum. Froth flotation. The powdered ore is mixed with water in a large tank to form a slurry. Then some pine oil or ethyl xanthate is added to it. The mixture is agitated by means of a rotating shaft and compressed air is blown through it to create froth. The froth carries with it the ore particles. The froth floats on the surface of water and is skimmed off. The gangue particles settle at the bottom of the tank. The froth is allowed to collapse and dry for recovery of ore particles. This method is used for the concentration of low-grade sulfide ores. Conversion of concentrated ore into metal oxide. It is easier to obtain metals from their oxide ores than from their sulfide or carbonate ores. This is done by calcination and roasting. The carbonate ores are changed into oxides by heating strongly in the absence of air. This process is called calcination. The sulfide ores are converted into oxides by heating strongly in the presence of excess of air. This process is known as roasting. Extraction of the metal by reduction of metal oxide. The calcined or roasted ore is converted into the free metal by simple heating or chemical reduction or electrolytic reduction. In the chemical reduction method, the choice of reducing agent depends upon the chemical reactivity of the metal. The reduction of a calcined or roasted ore by heating with carbon or coke and a flux is called smelting. The commonly used methods for reduction of metallic oxides are as follows. By thermal decomposition, oxides of metals Hg and Ag lying low in the activity series can be reduced by heating alone. For example, 2HgS in a bar 2HgO plus 3O2 oxygen air 2Hg plus 2HgO mercury 2 oxide O2 plus 2SO2 sulfur dioxide. By reducing agents, oxides of metals in the middle of the activity series such as iron, zinc, lead and copper do not reduce by heating alone. They are reduced by heating with reducing agents like carbon or coke, carbon monoxide and hydrogen. ZnO zinc oxide plus C carbon heat, Zn zinc oxide plus CO carbon monoxide. Electrolytic reduction. Oxides of active metals such as sodium, potassium, magnesium and aluminum high up in the activity series cannot be obtained by reducing agents. Such metals are reduced by passing electricity through their fused or molten salts. Pure metal is collected at the cathode. 2NaCl molten is 2Na plus Cl2. Refining of impure metals. The metals obtained by thermal decomposition and reducing agents are not pure. They contain impurities. They are purified to obtain pure metals. The process of purification of impure metals is known as refining of metals. The impure metals are purified by liquation, distillation or electrolysis. Electrolysis is a chemical change in a substance, electrolyte, caused by an electric current flowing through it. The process of liquation is used for refining those metals which have low melting points. Metals obtained by electrolyte reduction are pure and need no further refining, while those obtained by carbon reduction contain some impurities and need to be refined further. General physical properties of metals. We shall now discuss some important physical properties of metals. Physical state. All the metals are solid at room temperature except mercury, which is liquid at the room temperature. Metallic luster. In their pure state, metals are characterized by a shining surface. The property is called metallic luster. Most metals are grey or white. Copper is reddish brown and gold is yellow in color. Malleability. Metals can be beaten with a hammer into thin sheets. The property is called malleability. Gold, silver, copper, tin, aluminum, etc. are extremely malleable, but all the metals are not equally malleable. Ductility. The ability of metals to be drawn into wires is called ductility. Copper, gold, platinum and silver are especially ductile. Gold is the most ductile metal. It is interesting to note that a wire of about 2 km length can be drawn from 1 gram of gold. Because of their malleability and ductility, metals can be given different shapes according to our need and requirement. Electrical conduction. Almost all the metals are good conductors of electricity. Metals differ widely in their power to conduct electricity. Silver is the best conductor of electricity, followed by copper and gold. Although silver is the best conductor of electricity, copper and gold are often used in electrical appliances because copper is less expensive and gold has higher corrosion resistance. Other metals with high electrical conductivity are aluminum, zinc, nickel, iron and platinum. Aluminum cables are used in high transmission. Density. Metals are normally crystalline in nature and are densely packed. As a result, density of metals is quite high. However, lithium Li, sodium Na and potassium K have densities lesser than water. Melting and boiling points. Metals generally have high melting and boiling points because the constituent atoms are closely packed and there exist strong forces of attraction between them. However, gallium Mp is equal to 3O2K and cesium Mp is equal to 3O3K have very low melting point. These metals will melt if kept on the palm of our hand. Sonority. Metals are sonorous. Most metals give a deep and resonant ringing sound when struck. The metals which produce such sound on striking are said to be sonorous. That is why school bells and church gongs are made of metals or their alloys. Thermal conductance. Metals in general are good conductors of heat. Let's perform an activity to prove that metals are good conductors of heat. The best conductors of heat are silver and copper. Aluminium is also a good conductor of heat. That is why cooking utensils and water boilers are made of aluminium and copper. The metal container conducts the heat from the burner to the food or water taken inside. Hardness. Metals are generally hard, but hardness varies from metal to metal. From activity 6.3, we conclude that metals are generally hard, but hardness varies from metal to metal. Metals like copper, iron and aluminium are hard, quite hard, and cannot be easily cut with a sharp knife, whereas metals like sodium and potassium are so soft that they can be easily cut with a knife. The hardest metal is chromium and the softest metal is cesium. Tensile strength. In general, metals are hard solids with high tensile strength. They can withstand pressure without breaking. General physical properties of non-metals. Physical state. Out of the 22 non-metals, 10 non-metals are solids, 11 are gases, and only one, that is bromine, is a liquid. Brittleness. Solid non-metals are brittle, that is, they break down or crack easily when hammered. For example, sulfur and phosphorus are quite brittle solids as they are easily broken down into pieces when hammered. Diamond, an allotropic form of carbon, is the hardest naturally occurring substance on the earth but is very brittle and will shatter into pieces if hammered. Malleability. Non-metals are not malleable, that is, they cannot be beaten into sheets. Ductility. Non-metals are non-ductile, that is, they cannot be drawn in thin wires. For example, sulfur and phosphorus when stretched break down into pieces. Thermal and electrical conductances. Non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity except graphite, which is an allotropic form of carbon. As graphite is a good conductor of electricity, it is used for making electrodes. Density. As compared to metals, non-metals have low density. For example, sulfur has a density of about 2.0 gram cm to the power minus 3. Melting and boiling points. Non-metals usually have low melting and boiling points. For example, melting points of sulfur and phosphorus are 388 K and 3174 K respectively. But diamond and graphite, the two allotropic forms of carbon, have very high melting points. Example 3873 K and graphite of 3773 K. Comparison of physical properties of metals and non-metals. Property: metals, non-metals. Physical state: metals are solids except mercury, which is liquid. About half of the non-metals are solids and about half are gases. Only bromine is a liquid. Appearance: metals are shiny and lustrous. Non-metals are dull except iodine, which has lustrous surface. Malleability: metals are malleable. Non-metals are not malleable. Ductility: metals are ductile. Non-metals are not ductile. Conduction of heat: in general, metals are good conductors of heat. Non-metals are poor conductors of heat. Conduction of electricity: metals are good conductors of electricity. Non-metals are bad or poor conductors of electricity except graphite, a form of carbon, which is a good conductor of electricity. Density: metals generally have high densities. Lithium, sodium and potassium have density lesser than water. Non-metals have lower densities. Melting and boiling points: metals have high melting and boiling points except gallium and cesium, which have low melting and boiling points. Non-metals have comparatively lower melting and boiling points except diamond and graphite, which have high melting points. Sonority: metals give a ringing sound when struck, that is, they are sonorous. They are not sonorous. Position of metals on the periodic table. Metals appear on the left-hand side of the periodic table. They have high melting and boiling points and are generally solid at the room temperature except mercury, which is a liquid at room temperature. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. They are malleable, that is, they can be flattened into thin sheets. They are ductile, that is, can be drawn into wires and also have bright luster. Position of non-metals on the periodic table. Non-metals are present on the right-hand side of the periodic table. They are usually solids or gases at room temperature with low melting and boiling points. Boron and carbon are exception. The only liquid non-metal is bromine. Most non-metals are brittle and are neither malleable nor ductile. Metalloids or semi-metals. The elements silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium, etc. show characteristics of both metals and non-metals. These are called metalloids or semi-metals. These are present diagonally on the p block of modern periodic table. Metallic and non-metallic character. In general, the metallic increases as we go down a group and non-metallic character increases as we move from left to right across a period in the periodic table. Alloys. An alloy is a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals or a metal and a non-metal. Alloys are made to improve the properties of constituting metals. Properties of an alloy are different from those of its constituent metals or metal and non-metal. For example, the constituent metals of alloy are Fe 75%, Ni 10%, Cr 15% and C 0.51%. Stainless steel is hard and does not rust. Corrosion of iron or rusting. You must have observed that the surface of many metals is easily attacked by air and moisture. The copper articles like coins, statues, utensils, etc. lose their shine after some time on exposure to atmosphere. When exposed to a considerable time, a green coating is formed on the surface. This green coating is due to the formation of green-colored basic copper carbonate formed due to the action of carbon dioxide oxygen on copper. 2Cu plus H2O plus CO2 plus O2 present in air. CuOH2, CuCO, basic copper carbonate green. Articles of silver become tarnished and a black coating is formed on exposure to air after few days. This is because sulfur dioxide and H2S present in air react with silver to form silver sulfide, which is black. 2AgS plus H2SG, Ag2SS plus H2, black. Process of slow conversion of metals into their undesirable compounds by the action of the ingredients of air, that is oxygen, moisture and other gases like SO2, NO2, CO2 and H2S are the acids formed, and the acids formed is called corrosion. The rusting of iron is a common example of corrosion. Other metals like magnesium, aluminum, zinc, tin and copper also corrode. However, the action of air on a highly active metal like potassium or sodium is not called corrosion. Ways to prevent rusting. Corrosion can be prevented by the following methods: oiling or greasing. Applying grease or oil over the metal surface also protects the metal from chemical action. Painting. Applying a paint, preferably acid resistant, protects the metal from the chemical action of air or a solution. Chrome plating, electroplating. Depositing a thin uniform layer of one metal over another by electrolysis is known as electroplating. Electroplating a metal with tin, nickel, chromium or copper is quite a common method of preventing corrosion. Galvanization. A metal object is dipped in molten zinc so that a layer of zinc forms on the surface of the object. Then the object is said to be galvanized. Galvanizing protects a metal like iron, which is lower than zinc in the activity series, from corrosion. Being more active than the metal, it is zinc that reacts with air. By thinning of iron. Tin is not very active metal or is very less electropositive and hence it is not corroded in air. Therefore, when a layer of tin is applied on iron surface, iron gets protected from rusting. The process is called tinning of iron. But if the protective layer of tin is broken, the iron surface is exposed and iron, being more reactive, gets rusted. Uses of certain metals. Uses of iron. Iron is used for casting and in railings because cast iron expands on cooling and can be easily molded. It is used for making tools, warships, etc. because in the form of steel, it has high tensile strength. Uses of gold. Gold is highly malleable, resistant to corrosion and chemically very stable. It is used for making jewelry because of its shining luster. Gold is used by dentists for filling cavities in teeth. Uses of copper. Copper is highly ductile and good conductor of heat and electricity. Copper can be drawn into very thin wires because it is a good conductor of electricity. It is used for making utensils because it is non-reactive and does not attack food acids. Uses of aluminium. Aluminium is the most abundant metal and second most useful metal after iron in the Earth's crust. Aluminium is a good conductor of electricity, so it is used for making high voltage wires. The foil of aluminium is used for packing food materials because of its light weight and high malleability. Uses of zinc. Zinc is chemically reactive and brittle metal, but at ordinary temperature it is little affected by air or moisture. Zinc is used in dry cells because of its electropositive nature. Rusting of iron can be prevented with zinc by the process of galvanization. Uses of lead. Lead is a chemical element that is assigned the symbol Pb from Latin word plumbum and the atomic number 82. Alloys of lead are used in fuse wires. Alloys of lead are also used in printing. Expands on solidification and hence easy to cast. Uses of magnesium. Magnesium is very ductile, malleable and the lightest of the commonly used metals. Magnesium is used in fireworks because it burns with a dazzling white flame. It is used in the preparation of alloys such as duralumin and magnesium because it imparts high tensile strength. Metalloids. What are metalloids? Metalloids are the elements which possess the qualities of both metals and non-metals such as silicon, germanium, tungsten, antimony, etc. Uses of metalloids. Silicon is used in computer parts and is alloyed with iron for electrical steel and aluminum for automotive parts. Germanium is used in optic fibers and its oxide germania is alloyed with silver for tarnish resistant sterling silver and with silicon for high-speed integrated circuits. Antimony is used as its oxide as a flame retardant, is alloyed with lead in car batteries and with silicon in circuits. Tungsten has the highest melting point of all metals and is alloyed with other metals to strengthen them. Tungsten and its alloys are used in many high temperature applications such as arc welding, electrodes and heating elements in high temperature furnaces. Fast track chapter at a glance. Elements can be classified into metals and non-metals on the basis of their physical and chemical properties. Metals are usually shiny, hard, malleable and ductile. Metals conduct heat and electricity. Non-metals exhibit a dull luster. They are poor conductors of heat and electricity and are brittle. Metals usually combine with oxygen to form acidic oxides. Non-metals usually combine with oxygen to form acidic oxides. Most metals corrode when they are exposed to temperature. Several methods are used to protect metals from corrosion. There are certain metals which are very useful in our daily life. Metalloids are the elements that show the properties of both metals and non-metals. Chapter 7.